Anime Elitist, critical reviews for critical viewers. Hey guys, me here, and today I'll be reviewing, for your viewing pleasure, Wolf's Rain. Now as you can probably tell by the aspect ratio, this is an old one, it's all the way back from 2004 to be exact. Anyway, let's go to the overview real quick. It's got 30 episodes, and is both subbed and dubbed. Now I do want to talk for a second about the dub. It's overall decent, but the main protagonist's dialogue sounds bad in action scenes. The way he talks normally is fine, but in fight scenes his voice just sounds all wrong, like he's trying to read lines off a script or something. Here, just listen for yourself.
That was quite a stunt.
I was protecting myself. That's all.
Don't be so quick to kill.
What's wrong with killing?
I don't know what mountain you came down from, but you're in the city now. There are rules.
Rules? Is running around this city with a pack of idiots one of the rules?
I'm only using them.
Your rules stink like this city. What's the point of living if it means throwing away your pride?
You got a big mouth for someone half dead.
Now for the setting, I'll describe it as a post-apocalyptic, with nature partially taking over the remains of the world. A lot of it takes place in towns that are just basically giant slums. The basic premise of the show is that wolves are supernatural animals that can cast illusions on themselves to make themselves look like humans, so that they can blend into society. And these talking wolves are driven to find paradise. And if you're wondering what paradise is, well then you'll just have to watch the show. It's one of its big mysteries. So anyway, the wolves, I'm not telling you whether it's one or many, go on a great journey in search of paradise, and that's pretty much the focus of the show, though I'm leaving out a lot of stuff for time's sake. Now let's go back to the overview for a moment. So some of the tags I would give this show are journey, spiritual, I'll talk more about this one later, and post-apocalyptic dystopian, leaning more on the latter side. On the themes and messages side, this one has a shit ton. Some are present across the whole show, while others are only shown for a moment. Some of the main ones are adult relationships, obsession, guilt, longing, drive and motivation, faith and optimism, along with some spiritually stuff I'll be talking about later. Now for a bit about the characters. Overall, I'd say they portrayed all the adult characters fairly perfectly. They feel realistic and have different outlooks and motivations, along with believable personalities and mannerisms. The young characters, on the other hand, aren't as organic or well portrayed. They feel a little like how a slightly out-of-touch 40-year-old would imagine teenagers are. They almost all have this fake-feeling wannabe tough guy attitude that waxes and wanes throughout the show inorganically. For example, at some points they would start to act more friendly towards one another, with some caring and compassion for their comrades, only to go back to their infuriating, if you don't like it then leave attitude. And some of them also have that I'm so tough I don't even realize that everyone else isn't as tough as me attitude that's just infuriating. Here, let me just quote for you one of the cringiest lines in the show. "I'm not scared of anything, even death." Now imagine someone saying that with like a straight face. God, they're all so damn edgy. Look, I even have a paper cut on my finger from watching. Here, look at it! Oh wait, no, you fucking can't see me. Okay, to be honest, I'm blowing this a little out of proportion. It's annoying, but I wouldn't call it a deal breaker. Now for the rating, I'll give it 1 bullet hole, since there is a good deal of blood, but there isn't much gore, and this isn't a bloody show overall. The bloody scenes are spread out fairly. It doesn't have nudity, though it does have someone naked, but their very long hair covers everything. And also none of those scenes are suggestive, to be honest, so I'll call it safe from that angle. For the grip scale, I would give it about a 6 throughout most of the show, but the last half a dozen episodes or so were a 10. You won't be able to stop, just trust me. The narrative format is a 6.5. Most of the show is just decent. It takes itself seriously overall and doesn't mess around too much. I found that it really didn't pull me in that strongly though. Probably due to my issues with some of the characters, and also probably due to the fact it doesn't try to build up any long-term tension. It's mostly a semi-lighthearted adventure show. I say semi since the world is dark, but the characters are optimistic and filled with the passion of youth. One thing I really like about it is that it doesn't always give you what you want throughout the show, but especially at the end. But that end. Man, that end feels almost like it's from a completely different show altogether. It's a cannonball to the gut. It's much darker and more epic than the rest of the anime. This anime also has the weirdest progression arc I've ever seen. It hits a climax towards the end, and the tension drops off a little and plateaus only to shoot up like crazy. It basically has like 2 climaxes. But I will have to say that it's an open-ended ending, leaving it open to different interpretations and possibilities. So if that's not your cup of tea, this probably is not for you. But it's not too bad since it offers a good degree of closure before it does that. Now let me explain what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned the spiritually stuff. Wolf's Rain is a cocktail of different religious symbolism and ideas. The main ones are from Christianity and Hinduism, along with some like other smaller religions tossed in there. The main religious ideas explored are, in no particular order, yin and yang, Christ imagery and false prophets, and rebirth, along with some stuff like destiny. These themes and others seep throughout the show, but are greatest in the ending, which is heavily religiously inspired. I won't go any further since I've probably said too much already. If you happen to buy into all that stuff, then the show, and the ending especially, will seem to be incredibly deep and profound to you most likely. But if you're more of a naturalist like myself, you're not going to find the show's religious conclusions profound or impressive. But I would still recommend watching it since the ending is still a masterpiece. For us, it just ends a little sooner than for others and is a little less open-ended. You'll see what I mean. Just go watch it. Overall, I would give this one about a 6.5 for the majority of the show and a 9.7 for the ending quarter, which was godly if you want something serious, mature, and just good. Overall, I'll average it out to about a 7.2. I would recommend it due to its original story and amazing ending, but expect it to be about a fairly high average otherwise. If you watch a couple of episodes and don't like it, don't force yourself to watch it for the ending. It's just not gonna end up appealing to you. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my review and see you next time. Give that like button a little smooch on your way out. See ya!